Hello and welcome to episode 4 of Space Engineers on Planets. And I'm going to make a quick change to a modded item. Mustn't grind that down. Modded item I was looking for was, when the thing loads, there we go, clear LCD. And let's see if medium is the right size for this. Yep. Maybe. Let's have a look at large. Clear LCD large. Well, I think large is actually more appropriate, actually. Let's just get rid of that for a second. There we go. Large. And the reason why is when you go over these, you get this huge yellow highlight, really, to tell you that you can actually interact with it. Don't like that very much, so I think I would rather have the clear LCD. And I'm out of components. Clearly it costs more than vanilla stuff. In fact, I have my stuff here. I can just get 2 computers maybe. Do I have any computers? Yeah. And construction components, of which I have a few. There we go. Online. So if I... Oops. I can't interact there. I have to interact here. Let's just say ORS LCD. And hopefully that will allow it to boot up. Yeah, there we go. So if we go down to public title and move that again, I think this one was inventory all plus all. Please. Look at that. I think it looks a lot nicer than this vanilla one. Mainly because I don't have this weird highlight. It's called Clear LCDs. It's on the workshop. Go get it. So, this episode, I think I'll obviously keep on extending things. We've got the daytime now, so at least you can see things a bit more. I think I'm going to actually build a new vehicle. I've shown you how to build a buggy already, and mine's fairly protected, but for another good one, go look at Wasted Space's channel. I've recommended him before. He's got very nice stuff as well. I'm going to do something a little bit different now. So let's get started with a craft. What we're going to do is build a flying ship, if I've got enough components left for a flying ship, that is. We'll see soon enough. Let's just rotate this a bit. Should do. And as usual, I'm going to put a couple of blocks on top, if I had any steel plate. Which I should have shortly. Let's get some construction components, and yeah, that'll do for now. Here we go. So 1, 2, 3, for argument's sake. Now this craft is going to be much like my my buggy, to be honest, and it's an alternative to the buggy, but it's going to have some other uses. I'm going to use it as a lifter, so it's going to need to be fairly powerful, and we're going to come on to what it's going to be lifting in the next episode, I think. I'm working on it in creative, so I have a few ideas, mainly to get the stuff out of the ore out of the ground without me having to use my personal tools like this drill, which the drill's fine, but it's not amazing. So where do we start with that, really? Well, because it's a lifter, I'm going to invariably need to get some thrusters. So let's put those down, large and small. I'm going to want a cargo can, so let's get the medium version of that ready. I'm going to want that connector again, the small connector. And I'm also going to want, let's just get rid of actually this. I'm also going to want a battery. And the battery that is the dangerous one, because I would need to go and mine manually if I build these, unfortunately. So let's start with what I'm going to build. In fact, I'm probably going to put a few more on this just to make this a bit higher. Mainly because of the thrusters here. So if we have a thruster, do you want to use this one? I'm almost sure there's modded. So that is 144 motors. Motors are going to be the problem there. I think I may have to go and get some ore to actually finish that off, but at least I'll have the structure in place. Let's just look at thrusters for a second. I'm almost sure we've got a modded version. Maybe we don't. I was looking for a modded atmospheric thruster. Atmos? Oh, there we go, actually. Yeah. Unless... let's have a look at this one. Is that just a reverser block, I wonder? Yeah, it's not showing up. So, yeah, that's fine. I'll ignore that. I'll come back to it if that actually happens. So, it could be that the mod actually has already modded this actual item, so the main actual thruster. So we're going to have it facing up. If I ever find the right thing. Yeah, so we're going to build it fairly high. And on the other side of that, we've then got to decide what we're going to do. We're going to want the cargo can on, and we're going to have a connector underneath the cargo can. And it's our sort of choice on how we do this. So, one of the ways we could do it, which I'm fairly in favour of, is having the batteries like this. Then a cargo can. Aha, if I didn't build that in the wrong place. Assuming this actually does let me build these. Yeah, they should do. Yeah, that should do. I know it looks a bit disjointed, don't worry, we'll come back to it. Then on this side of it, we want the connector on top, so I'm going to rotate this thing like that. That should do. Interior plate. So many unexpected stuff needs interior plate. That's fine. Should have enough of it. So yeah, I want it like that. Then we're going to have a connector on the bottom of it, so we're going to put a connector here, and just going to rotate that for a second. Now, with the where the thruster is, that might actually be too... Yeah, I might have to build the connector up a little bit. I'm going to put another connector up there on the roof, and then this will let me unload from the bottom so I can land on it. And when you have the two connectors locked, this will charge from our main solar panels. And that's the downside to this buggy. This buggy has these solar panels, and they're okay. They're certainly good for emergencies, and they're certainly recharging as you see it right now. But they are... they don't generate a lot of power by comparison to these really big ones. So often you might want to think about having those really large ones. But we'll see. And similarly, I want another battery and another thruster. If I actually choose the right block. Okay, so that looks about right. Okay, so we've got that set up this side, and just because I probably want to put some more thrusters there. Now, I might not be able to build these initially, so what I might do is, yeah, that this connector is going to be a problem on the bottom, just because of the damage caused by these thrusters. I could put them aside like that, but... Too well, let's just put a normal connector on here for a second. Rather than the slim version, the normal connector is a much chunkier block. So let's drop that. See how awful this block is by comparison. But it actually comes down a little bit more, and hopefully will give a bit more resistance to these. And yeah, what I want to do the other way. The other way, I do want these thrusters as well. But maybe I space this out a little bit more. We'll see. Get a pillar. And put you on this side. And one on this side as well. I'll weld that up. Yeah, a little bit. And then see if we actually can connect to that. Maybe. It's a bit low. Yeah. I'll leave it as it is, and we'll see whether that actually works or not in practice. Because I can always move these. You're not going to lose anything from grinding these down. So on top of this structure, we're then going to need what we're going to fly in, and this is literally going to be like a flying cargo can. So having a flight seat on this would actually be probably fine. And this is a proper flight seat now. We don't need the remote control, or that's something that we can think about. Like that. And then we're going to put in some gyros. And it's probably a bit of an overkill, but I'm going to put 4 in. Just so everything is fairly symmetric. And then we're going to need our other small thrusters, you know, these ones. So I'm going to put those in on top of the batteries. 2 facing forward, well, 2 facing rear, I should say. Spin those around, 2 facing back. And this one's going to be a bit tricky because I've put those pillars in place. So what I may do is actually just spin this around and see if I can get... yeah, I can get one either side. Important point here is that these cause damage, or all thrusters really cause damage to what's behind them. You know, this is the exhaust. So as long as the exhausts are crossing each other like this, you don't have much of an issue. If they were pointing at each other, well, I don't fancy your chances. You can disable that in the actual configuration section, but otherwise, you know, just be a little bit wary. And lastly, and just because we want an ore detector now, that's gears. I really must grab that improved ore detector mod. In fact, I wonder if the azimuth one is any better. It just made it look a little bit differently. And that requires a lot of detector components, but maybe that's actually a much better one. What size is that? That looks pretty good, actually. I quite like that. Actually fitting it on this thing now may be more of an issue. Yeah, we can put one under the gyros on this side, and maybe we put an antenna on the other side just to keep things a little bit symmetric. Yeah, small steel tubes. Okay. And I've noticed in the latest patch, by the way, when it refills bottles from your inventory, it doesn't drop you to the floor. So I am much in favour of that. That would be great any day of the week. So there we go. And now I get to try and actually weld this up and find out I have no resources. I'll be right back. And it's done. Free floating. I had to take a lot of the motors, the engines off that ship. I'm not going to need it anymore anyway. And you can see I've turned off these rear ones, but you notice that the mod I've got makes the fan spin. Yes, it's called the Improved Thrusters mod, so just bear that in mind. And you get a flame effect on the back, so that's kind of cool. And hopefully now I can actually fly the thing. We shall see. Yeah, I have positive control. And now I'm going to need to actually land the thing somewhere. So I've got 14 minutes of fuel time. That's probably just because of the way I'm doing things. Let's get a bit low, 16 minutes, that will do. At least long enough for me to add a couple of landing gears to this thing. Long term, I'm not going to need those, but at least for the short term, I just want to land this somewhere so I don't have to hover it permanently. So, and we're probably going to put these temporarily somewhere like this. Let's just crouch. There we go, and 6. Is that going to be too... Is that going to not lock on with that connector? Maybe not. I may have to actually get a little bit further up. So let's just make sure we are level and go up a bit. There we go. And let's just put another couple of blocks in place temporarily. Again, this is again a very temporary thing. I just want to make sure we've got something going. I've run out. No energy. Oh, wow. Yeah, don't ever run out of energy. It's a bit of hassle getting to somewhere that you can actually access the inventory from. Especially when you built all of this. Don't ever run out of hydrogen. There we go. Can I make it? There we go. Shove that in place and we can get a couple of bottles rather than just one. Yeah, let's go and actually put this... there we go. Put the landing gears in place. That should do it. So if I put the landing gear down here. Like that. Even one would do it, but we don't just want one. So let's put another few blocks there. And the same on this side. I'm out of steel plate. Not out of steel plate anymore. I'm actually just going to put a line of blocks down here. And the same thing here. In fact, we could even just leave these blocks with no landing gear because they should actually be stable enough without anything like that. But, you know, why not? You know, you want this sort of thing, and this is going to ask for construction components, I guarantee it. Yeah. Of which I only need a couple. Just to actually put these down. And we want to turn these, ideally. Just so we're not facing inwards more than anything else. And that should do the job. Motors and large steel tubes to finish them. Motors are generally the problem. Large steel tubes I have a few of. Grab the motors. And this is just so the landing gear's powered up, so I can lock them. Or at least one would do, but no, I may as well complete them while we're at it. Yeah, we've got them. And we can just weld up the these. And if you really wanted to, you could put an actual more... Well, it's not really aerodynamic because there's not really aerodynamics in this game yet. But you could have an aerodynamic shell just to encapsulate this if you didn't want this bare bones look. But to be honest, I don't mind the bare bones look. There we go. And let's put this thing down. Zoom out, and we want to make sure the landing gears will auto-lock, which they are set to, and then we'll just head down. There we go, and then we can go to the thrusters, and we should probably make a group of all of these, so let's just select them all, and select that cargo can, and create a thruster group. And then in here, I don't have to go to the remote control anymore. I can just grab these and then do toggle block on off. And toggle block, fuel time is 5 days already. They're now completely off, so I don't have any chance of using that. And I can even shut down the reactors at this point. I don't have any reactors. Yeah, that won't work. I can go to the batteries. That's the other way of doing it. Batteries set to recharge only semi-auto. Yeah, and we're now going to get that. So we're not going to use any power whatsoever. Everything's off. Turn the lights on. It's going dark. So now I think I'm briefly just going to create... You almost kind of want a little mini landing pad for this thing. And we're probably going to be best going in through the top. We just need to know whereabouts. So... and And this is probably ideal, but it's probably going to be right below that solar panel. So let's just see where this is. Yeah, I think I'm going to move that solar panel a bit further out. But this would be kind of ideal, I think. What do you guys think? It's kind of suitable. And I can put the two thrusters that are working on either side of this, and hopefully they shouldn't damage it. We'll soon see if that's the case. So we're going to need to put a conveyor up here. So let's grab one of those. Full-size ones should do. And then we want a... Oh yeah, we don't want another conveyor, we want the conveyor tube. And we want the connector. And the full-size connector would give us a bit more vertical space, which is what we need for thruster damage. So yeah, let's give this a go. Let's get rid of you. Thank you. And we'll put this one down. If I had an interior plate. What was the problem with a jetpack? You know, flying sideways and headbutting your own ships. Interior plates. Why don't I put some more of those on production? Where are they? I'm out of iron. Well, guess where I'm going after this episode's finished. Yeah, sleep. Anyway, put this back down. On top, we're going to put that. And on top of this, we're going to put the connector block, which is here. So here we get a bit more vertical space. The large ship and station connector block is a full block size. So I'm going to need computers for that. I'm going to need steel tubes and construction components. And what am I going to need? Give me control. Small steel tubes, construction components. Yeah, okay, nearly done. Small steel tubes, that's a girder. Construction components. What was the rest? Computers. Maybe 40 of. And let's see what that does. I do still have enough solar cells to put another set of solar cells up, by the way. I'm just reserving them in case I need them for vehicles, but to be honest, I may as well use it. And that's connected. We've got that kind of thing there. We've got the yellow light, that is. And now let's just put this back. The rotation's different because I'm further up. There we go. Right, so we've got a connector on the top, and that should be powered. And we can get access to our inventory, so I can refill my my hydrogen bottles from up here. Now we just probably want to get this to recharge. So if we go in here, and yes, I know the ship feels critical. Let's just put the batteries in a group. Batteries. Okay, and say the batteries and semi-auto, no discharge, semi-auto. And then we're going to turn on the reactors, turn on the thrusters, and we're going to want to group for the landing gears, so we may as well do that now. Gears. Save that, go across here, and if we go to the info panel, I'm going to set this to rig lifter. That should do for the moment. And there we go. So if I go to G, press groups, grab gears, I should be able to select that to be switch lock. And then batteries. No, I'm not going to need that. I can just use the regular interface for that. Okay, so gears unlocked. There we go. And we can head probably better in first person a little bit, at least to get close to this. And those gears may interfere with this, to be honest, because that's a full block size. But we'll see. I can always remove them again. If we've got somewhere to land, I don't need the gears anymore. That's the main thing. And the things I'm missing here is one thing that's very important. I got out. And lights. Lights, please. Spotlights pointing down, probably. We've got space at the front here. I think we got that space is used up on the other side of things, but it shouldn't be on here. There we go. 2 lights. Yeah, that's much better. So if I'm lined up with this solar panel, I know I'm lined up with the top. And I am miles away from it. Let's go forward a bit. It's not quite lined up the solar panel because it's not rendering in the middle of the block. And I don't want to set to auto lock. Let's just turn the gears to not auto lock, unlocked. In fact, let's just turn them off. And am I going to be able to land this thing properly? Doesn't look like it, does it? No, they're definitely interfering. Yeah, so landing gears have got to go. Sorry, good idea, but we need the connector as the actual landing pad now. So let's just take off these bottom 2. Nearly done. And let's just go down a bit. There we go. Press P to lock. We're locked. Turn off the thrusters. And then we can actually just shut everything down. In fact, let's turn on the other 2 thrusters. Wow. Yeah, let's just let's just disconnect everything. Let's just turn the batteries onto recharge mode. In fact, just recharge, please, completely. So battery 2 and battery 3. Stored power input is 4 megawatts. And they're going to be fully recharged in 12 minutes. So they're coming off the main battery that's in this main building. And if I go to the large atmospheric thrusters, and I'm just going to turn them off. There we go. So that is our lifter. And that's the point of this episode. 25 minutes or so. We've got it built, everything's in place. And the ore detector, in fact, how much fuel time do I actually have with this? Do I have time to demonstrate it? I may do. Let's just change the batteries for a second back to discharge and semi-auto and turn on the atmospheric thrusters. I don't necessarily need all 4 of them actually. Let's just turn off 2 of them. Doesn't matter which 2 because I did them alternatively. There we go, and just unlock. Okay, the one thing I didn't put on the actual toolbar here, which we do actually need, is all blocks. I don't need the antenna, but I do need the ore detector and toggle it on and off. So the moment it's on, so if we head out, I've got 8 minutes of fuel. Perhaps not the best, but you get the idea. I can scout around. I don't have problems with the wheels on the ground, so I can just go up over mountains easily enough once I recharge this thing. I don't need these 2 engines, so you could leave them off entirely. There's the cobalt, you see, it's detecting cobalt 90 meters down, and iron, and that's really important. I just want to see all the actual ores further down. I only need these 2 engines, of course, main reason being that the cargo can in the middle of this whole assembly is off right now. However, in future, that is not going to be the case. So the 2 engines will be able to lift a full cargo can, I think. I don't think we're going to have any issues with that. The issues will be if I'm going to use this to pick something else up, and that's why those other 2 engines are there. Because I want to make sure that that's enough to pick up pretty much anything I want to build, that this is going to be used as the kind of hauler for it. So the next episode, what I'm going to be doing is building a rig for this, a mining rig, that is. This is going to connect to it, ideally, some way. I'll figure out how. And then that is going to let me transport it to wherever the ore is, stay connected to provide it with power, but then I can leave this behind. I can take this off, head back with ore, but leave the rig in place. And the reason for that is just the size and the sheer size and how unwieldy the rigs are, or this kind of stuff is. People are often trying to do planetary mining with one complete ship, and it's very, very hard to assemble something like that. There we go. We're connected. Let's lock in place. Go to the thrusters. Turn those off. And batteries we're just going to put to recharge mode, just so that whenever we next need them. And fuel time is 11 hours, and batteries they say 12 minutes. Yeah, so that's all fine. And we're doing for this episode. So yes, I'll be experimenting with the rig between the episode. If you are following along, feel free to leave suggestions, particularly if you have a rig yourself. If you created a mining rig or created a bore or any number of other mining ship, and you want something, you want me to look at it, more than happy to take a look. It'd be kind of cool. Once I've finished both this and the rig, I am going to put these up on the workshop so you can download them. That'll be straightforward, so you can have them in your creative world, take them apart, put them back together, make them better. Laugh at me because I didn't do it. And yeah, we'll go from there, really. So if you like this video, thumbs up. If you disliked it, thumbs down. And of course, if you want to get notified on future episodes, feel free to subscribe. Leave me a message via comments, particularly if you've got any comments. I really enjoy getting those from all of you guys and girls. And yeah, we'll see you next episode. Thanks for watching.